So here we are at the St. Botolph Club. We've just had a wonderful fellows lunch, and I'm here going to read Act 4, Scene 5 of King Edward III. Got my trusty friend Yorick here. Hello. Reading the complete works of William Shakespeare out loud in order and in public. Don't mind me. Enter King John and Charles. A sudden darkness hath defaced the sky. The winds are crept into their caves for fear. The leaves move not, the world is hushed and still. The birds cease singing, and the wandering brooks murmur no wonted greeting to their shores. Silence attends some wonder, and expecteth that heaven should pronounce some prophecy. Where or from whom proceeds this silence, Charles? Our men with open mouths and staring eyes look on each other as they did attend each other's words, and yet no creature speaks. A tongue-tied fear hath made a midnight hour, and speeches sleep through all the waking regions. But now the pompous sun in all his pride looked through his golden couch upon the world, and on a sudden hath he hid himself, that now the under-earth is as a grave, dark, deadly, silent, and uncomfortable.
That's right. Okay.
Feel free to come on and join us. I'm just taping a scene here. I know it looks silly, but
Which scene could that be with the skull?
I'd appreciate some company.
I'll bring
A clamor of ravens. Hark! What a deadly outcry do I hear. Enter Philip. Here comes my brother Philip, all dismayed. What fearful words are those they looks presage? A flight! A flight! Coward, what flight? Thou liest, there needs no flight. A flight! Awake thy craven powers, and tell on the substance of that very fear indeed, which is so ghastly printed in thy face. What is the matter? A flight of ugly ravens do croak and hover o'er our soldiers' heads, and keep in triangles and cornered squares, right as our forces are embattled. With their approach there came this sudden fog, which now hath hid the airy floor of heaven, and made at noon a night unnatural upon the quaking and dismayed world. In brief, our soldiers have let fall their arms, and stand like metamorphosed images, bloodless and pale, one gazing on another. Now I call to mind the prophecy, but I must give no entrance to a fear. Return, and hearten up those yielding souls. Tell them that ravens, seeing them in arms, so many fare against a famished few, come but to dine upon their handiwork, and prey upon the carrion that they kill. For when we see a horse laid down to die, although not dead, the ravenous birds sit watching the departure of his life. Even so these ravens, for the carcasses of these poor English that are marked to die, hover about, and if they cry to us, 'tis but for meat that we must kill for them. Away, and comfort up my soldiers, and sound the trumpets, and at once dispatch this little business of a silly fraud. Exit Philip. Another noise, Salisbury brought in by a French captain. Behold, my liege, this knight and 40 more, of whom the better part are slain and fled, with all endeavours sought to break our ranks, and make their way to the encompassed prince. Dispose of him as please your majesty. Go, and the next bow soldier that thou seest, disgrace it with this body presently. For I do hold a tree in France too good to be the gallows of an English thief. My lord of Normandy, I have your pass and warrant for my safety through this land. Villiers procured it for you, did he not? He did. And it is current. Thou shalt freely pass. Aye, freely to the gallows to be hanged, without any denial or impediment. Away with him! I hope your highness will not so disgrace me, and dash the virtue of my seal at arms. He hath my never broken name to show, character with this princely hand of mine, and rather let me leave to be a prince than break the stable verdict of a prince. I do beseech you, let him pass in quiet. Thou and thy word both lie in my command. What canst thou promise that I cannot break? Which of these twain is greater infamy, to disobey the father or thyself? Thy word, nor no man's, may exceed his power. Nor that same man doth never break his word that keeps it to the utmost of his power. The breach of faith dwells in the soul's consent, which if thyself without consent do break, thou art not charged with the breach of faith. Go, hang him, for thy license lies in me, and my constraint stands the excuse for thee. What, am I not a soldier in my word? Then arms adieu, and let them fight that list. Shall I not give my girdle from my waist, but with a guardian I shall be controlled, to say I may not give my things away? Upon my soul, had Edward, Prince of Wales, engaged his word, writ down his noble hand, for all your knights to pass his father's land, the royal king, to grace his warlike son, would not alone safe conduct give to them, but with all bounty feasted them and theirs. But dwell'st thou on precedence? Then be it so. Say, Englishman, of what degree thou art, an earl in England, though a prisoner here, and those that know me call me Salisbury. Then Salisbury, say whither thou art bound. To Calais, where my liege King Edward is. To Calais, Salisbury, and to Calais pack, and bid the king prepare a noble grave to put his princely son, Black Edward, in. And as thou travellest westward from this place, some 2 leagues hence, there is a lofty hill, whose top seems topless for the embracing sky, doth hide his high head in her azure bosom, upon whose tall top, when thy foot attains, look back upon the humble vale beneath, humble of late, but now made proud with arms, and thence behold the wretched Prince of Wales, hooped with a bond of iron round about, after which sight to Calais spur amain, and say the prince was smothered and not slain. And tell the king, this is not all his ill, for I will greet him ere he thinks I will. Away begone, the smoke but of our shot will choke our foes, though bullets hit them not. It's a great speech.